We should accept the proposal to demolish the old train station because the local historical society, which vehemently opposes this, is dominated by people who have no commitment to long-term economic well-being. Okay, so hold on. Wait, we should accept the proposal to demolish the old... Okay, so someone's saying, get rid of the old train station. Then there's the local historical society who's like, no, keep the old train station. And apparently that society is dominated by people who have no commitment to long-term economic well-being. And that's why we should accept the proposal to get rid of the old train station. We don't like the fact that they have this lack of commitment. I mean, is they could still be right, even though they're not committed to long-term economic well-being. I'm not even sure that committing to long-term economic well-being is a good goal. Maybe the next sentence will make it so. Preserving old buildings creates an impediment to new development, which is critical to economic health. Okay. Keeping old buildings around is bad for economic health, but is economic health like the end all be all? Like if this passage said, by the way, the most important thing in life is economic growth, economic health, even then this argument would be bad, because I would still then need to know that people who don't have a commitment to long-term economic health are wrong about whatever they're deciding about. Like, just because you don't share the same goal doesn't mean that the specific recommendation you're making isn't a good one, right? Like, it could still be in the long-term benefit of the economy, despite the fact that some people on the historical society are opposed to it and don't have this long-term commitment. So there's at least two big problems here. One, who knows whether economic health is even a worthy goal? Two, even if it is, just because some people don't have that goal doesn't mean that their advice will help achieve that goal. Right? Like, I hope that makes sense. The fact that they lack a commitment to economic well-being doesn't mean that their advice won't actually help economic well-being. It might. Right. Someone could be like, I really want what's best for the community. Okay, that doesn't mean that every piece of advice that they give will actually help the community. It might end up hurting the community. So anyways, their mindset doesn't really matter that much. Two big problems. Anyways, the question says, the flawed reasoning exhibited by the argument above is most similar to that exhibited by which one of the following arguments? Okay, I want one that doesn't lay out or explain that economic health is a good goal, or doesn't, or relies on the motives of some people who oppose whatever they're trying to advocate for. Okay, A, our country should attempt to safeguard works of art that it deems to possess natural cultural significance. Okay, why? These works might not be recognized as such by all taxpayers or even all critics. But I don't know what, it's not, they might not be recognized as such. Are they opposed to them? Do they even have any awareness of them? In the original argument, the local historical society was opposed, and dramatically so, right, against this proposal. This sounds like these people don't even, they're like, oh, they're not recognized, or I don't know. They might not be. This is way too weak and inconsistent with the original argument. B, documents of importance to local heritage should be properly preserved and archived for the sake of future generations. Okay, why? 4, if even one of these documents is damaged or lost, the integrity of the historical record as a whole will be damaged. All right. That has nothing to do with people's motivations or their goals or their mindsets or why we should do something based on those mindsets. So this is wrong. C, you should have your haircut no more than once a month. Okay, why? After all, premise indicator, Beauticians suggest that their customers have their haircut twice a month, and they do this as a way of generating more business for themselves. This is kind of similar. They have a motive that would suggest that their advice is bad, therefore don't follow their advice. But just because you have a motive that suggests your advice is bad doesn't mean that your actual advice is bad. And that's the same problem we have with the historical society. They have a motive that might suggest that their advice will be inconsistent with the economic well-being of the area. But just because they have this motive doesn't mean that their actual advice will hurt the economy. It might actually be good for the economy. So I would, C sounds good. D, the committee should endorse the plan to postpone construction of the new expressway. Why? Many residents of the neighborhoods that would be affected are fervently opposed to that construction, and the committee is obligated to avoid alienating those residents. Actually, I didn't even need to read further. The advice to endorse the plan to postpone is consistent with this group as opposed to inconsistent with the group, right? The original argument, the advice or the conclusion was inconsistent with the local historical society's recommendation. So D is wrong because these two things are consistent with each other. E, one should not borrow even small amounts of money unless it is absolutely necessary. Once one borrows a few dollars, the interest starts to accumulate. This doesn't have anything to do with people's opinions or motives or anything like that. So that's wrong. The answer is definitely C. Questions on this one? Okay, comment here. I had a really hard time with this question just because I totally didn't understand what logic the passage was trying to use. Yeah, the argument in the original passage was pretty bad, and maybe that's why you struggled. You do want to sit on that a little longer and just say, okay, why exactly is this problematic? And there were at least two problems. Okay, great. Any other questions? Yeah, Martin, go ahead.
Yeah, I got C right the second time around, but A, I accidentally clicked that one. But can you explain real quick why A was the wrong answer?
Sure. The main problem that I landed on without even reading the whole answer choice is essentially the word might. We know that the local historical society was vehemently opposed to this plan. Don't do it. That's what they said. And then the conclusion was, oh, well, we should accept it. We should do the plan because they're so opposed to it. Answer choice A just says, these works might not be recognized as such by all taxpayers. Huh? We don't know where they stand on this issue? Not good.
Gotcha. So it's a little bit weak, was the language of it?
It's a lot weak.
Okay. Got it. Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, there might be other problems with this answer, like if we kept reading, but that's good enough. It's just not the same. Okay. Cool. Any other questions on this one?